super cheap projector for any mobile device. All you need is a box, a magnifying glass, a cutting tool, and some hot glue. We'll start by removing the magnifying glass from its casing. If you don't have this small of one, that's fine. Just make sure you get the magnifier on its own by any means necessary. Some clippers and pliers might be necessary, so get those ready. When that's done, we're ready to take our magnifying glass and line it up into position on the box. I'm just going to make some markings so that when I do the circle cut a little bit later, we won't have much of a problem cutting it out. I'll draw some X's at the apex of each point of the circular cut. Now I happened to find a bottle cap that was just about the same size as the magnifying glass, so I'm going to use that as a mold. Place it down and draw my circle around it. Obviously this is going to make cutting a hole much easier. Okay, and with that out of the way, it's time to start cutting. Now be really careful if you're using an X-Acto knife like me. These things will slice your skin right open. Now pop that sucker out. Awesome. Okay, and it should look something like this. Now we need to place the magnifying glass into the box and hot glue it down into position. When you're doing this, keep in mind, this is going to be the point where all the light comes out of, so you want to make sure that it's lined up correctly and that there aren't any seams sticking out. Alright, now we've got the lens in place, or magnifying glass, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to go ahead and color in these rough portions here so that we have a consistent look. Okay, all done. Let's move on. Now take out your mobile device. I'll be using my iPhone for this purpose, and we're going to line it up. Now how are we going to position this and make it stay in place for good? Well, the cool solution is Play-Doh. This stuff doesn't cause much of a mess, it's easy to clean up, and since we're going to be trying to get a great focused point from the projector, it's easily mobile so we can move the device around inside until we get a perfect picture coming out of the lens. Give it a try. Oh, finishing touch on the box, of course. Okay, we're ready for a test, I think. But just before we do that, the iPhone has an accelerometer which will make the screen flip upside down, and around, and left, and right. We need to lock it into place because the lens is going to shoot the projected image out upside down. So we need to flip the phone upside down first. Keep this in mind with any device you use. It needs to be upside down. Alright, here we go. I loaded up an old Household Hacker video from the early days. And as you can see, it's not very strong on the wall. Of course, the light is low right now, so we'll go ahead and kill it. Get a much better image. It's nothing to write home about, but it's still pretty cool for a $3 projector that you can stick your iPhone in and shoot it onto the wall. I was quite pleased with the result. Now moving the box back and forth is going to allow you to focus it a little bit finer than just moving the phone around inside, so play around with it. Your mileage may vary, of course. But you end up with a nice cheap projector. You could even cut a couple holes in the back and run an audio cable out so you could hook up to your speakers and have a little makeshift